Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Who would like to read our acknowledgement? Councillor Carter? Called Carter? Or?
Carter.
Okay, Councillor Carter.
She was a Supergirl.
Today, I acknowledge that the town of Bruderheim is located on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis Nation of Alberta. The town of Bruderheim honors the first peoples of this land. We recognize that we stand upon land that carries the footsteps of Cree, Métis, and Blackfoot, amongst other nations who have been here for thousands of years. Therefore, the town of Bruderheim has an inherent responsibility to further healthier relationships with First Peoples and further the calls to action as outlined by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Thank you very much for that. So any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda from administration?
Nothing, Deputy Mayor.
Anything from any councillors? Okay, I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Can you turn your mic on and try again, Councillor Florida?
I so move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you very much for that. Delegations. Communities in Bloom. Oh, that's my proclamation. Okay, so we have a proclamation. Year of the Garden, 2022 proclamation. Whereas the Year of the Garden 2022 celebrates the centennial of Canada's horticultural sector, whereas gardens and gardening contribute to the quality of life of our municipality and create safe and healthy places where people can come together. Whereas the Year of the Garden 2022 will highlight and celebrate the important contribution of gardeners, our local gardening organizations, horticultural professionals, and local horticultural businesses, which contribute to garden culture and experience the garden of our municipality. Whereas gardens and gardenings have helped us face the challenges of the COVID pandemic, whereas Communities in Bloom, in collaboration with the Canadian Garden Council, invites all municipalities to celebrate the Year of the Garden. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Bruderheim hereby proclaims 2022 as a Year of the Garden in celebration of the contribution of gardens and gardening to the development of our community, our country, our municipality, and the lives of our citizens in terms of health, quality of life, environmental challenges. That June 18th in 2022 be recognized as Garden Day in the town of Bruderheim as a legacy of Canada's Year of the Garden 2022. And that the town of Bruderheim is committed to be a garden-friendly community, supporting the development of its garden culture, and is proud to have an opportunity to provide educational workshop on composting and pest management, an opportunity to create a community of gardeners group to share their expertise and ideas with their neighbors, that all municipalities across Canada be invited to proclaim 2022 to be the Year of the Garden in their respective municipalities, and the copy of this resolution be provided to the FCM for that purpose. Dated November 3rd, 2022, and I will sign on behalf of the mayor. I need a motion to adopt that proclamation. Councillor Campbell, go ahead, please.
I'll make that motion that we adopt this proclamation.
Go ahead.
As presented.
Okay. Can we accept that? That works. Thank you.
Madam Deputy Mayor, I have a few words I'd like to say.
Go ahead, please.
I would like to take this opportunity and thank our Community of Bloom members for all the things that they have done over the past decade and or more to beautify, spread the culture of gardening, the works of advanced horticulture, and also give this town the beauty that it has over this many years. Thank you ever so much, Sherry, and all the people that have helped you over this past time. And may we have many more good years of gardening and moves.
I second that. Thank you very much, Sherry. Anyone else have any other questions or concerns with the motion? All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. And it's carried. Thank you. Number 6, adoption of the minutes. So number 1, we're going to adopt the minutes of October 6, 2021. I need a motion for that. Councillor Wayne. Sorry, Councillor Flardo.
Make a motion to adopt it. Make a motion to adopt the minutes of October 6, 2021 regular meeting of council.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Wayne. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor of the, please raise your hand. And it's carried. Meeting of our minutes of our organizational meeting. I need a motion to adopt that. Councillor Flardo.
I shall move we adopt the minutes of October 27, 2021 organizational meeting of council.
Can we hear him? Sounds good. Thank you very much for that, Councillor Flardo. Any questions or concerns with that motion? No one found any, read the minutes and not found nothing? Awesome. All in favor of that motion, please raise your hands. Okay, on to council priorities, information requests. We'll start with you, Councillor Oleko, online.
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Sounds good. Councillor Campbell?
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Carter?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Filardo?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Jacobs? Pardon me? Anything you want to ask?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. So I attended a school council meeting on Monday. So they did mention that the town removed their backstop just due to it being in bad shape. I got asked if I could bring it to council if they are going to be planning on replacing that backstop.
Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Jacobs. Actually, it was parents of the community of the school that asked us to remove it. It's in bad repair, and we're looking at the cost to replace, and that's going to budget to council in the fall here. So we wouldn't have an answer till probably December.
Thank you.
Anything else? That's it. Sounds good. And myself, I have nothing. So let's go on to
Madam Deputy Mayor, I don't know if I was clear to the new councillors the difference between an information request and a program request. I'm not sure if I was clear in the training. Just as a quick, so information request is something that we could probably answer quite quickly, or if we can't, we get back to council. Program request requires a council motion. So that's something that requires resources, whether it's admin resources or physical resources or funding. So a majority of council has to pass the motion that that's something they want admin to work on. That's the difference between an information and a program request. So information is, hey, Patty, why did you paint the street this week? Simple question, simple answer. And all of council may want to know the answer as well. Program, it requires a motion that all of council agrees that's a good thing to pursue and look into. So
sounds good. Okay, let's go on to program requests, please. We'll start backwards. Councillor Jacobs. Any program requests?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Flardo?
None at this time.
Councillor Carter?
None at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell?
Yes, we did ask for a study on the 52nd Avenue speed. And can you give us an update on that?
Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, yes, we actually just received the information from the traffic engineer with his recommendations, as well as we studied the 2 cul-de-sacs in West Woodlands. If you're aware, there's 2 little roundabouts, medians, that were questioned by residents. So we'll be bringing that to council, the next council meeting, I believe, the results of that. But you will notice that we put shoulder lines along 52nd. That was one of the recommendations because Reducing the appearance of the width of the road reduces speed. And so also it's safe for pedestrians to travel on a shoulder. And so that's why those lines were painted. That was fairly inexpensive recommendation, one of the recommendations they made. So I can quickly tell you that the speeds weren't as bad as people thought. There's definitely, what was really great is with the traffic strip there, we were able to determine when the speeds are high. And so RCMP, we've shared that information. And so now they're able to proactively schedule their patrols at those times instead of being here midday and going, what's the issue, right? So that was good. And yeah, the traffic engineer suggested that we put a 50K slow sign coming from the west. It just goes from 80 to 50. There's no 50 ahead sign, so we'll be installing that as well and moving our 50 sign up further. And there was an extra playground zone back here. We had them look at the whole piece from Highway 45 to the school all the way down to 205. So, and as well as those two cul-de-sacs. Looking at parking around the median there. There was a couple of requests from residents to look at parking there. So we'll be bringing that to council, but I basically told you most of it.
Anything else, Councillor George?
No.
Councillor Wayne had a question.
Yeah, just in regards to moving the 50-kilometer-an-hour sign, where's that going toward? Going east or going west?
Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Aleko, it will be moving further east. So that one where it is right now will have a 50K. Actually, the 50K head sign will go on the Strathcona side. And then there's a engineered distance to the 50K sign.
So is it moving it up quite a bit or?
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that question. It'll be interesting to look at, see what they really, all the nitty-gritty details on that. Councillor Oleko, have you got anything, any program requests?
Not this time, thanks.
Thank you for that. Okay, request for decisions. 8.1.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. Administration would like to provide council with information regarding the line of credit bylaw. The recommendation is that Town Council give second reading to bylaw 09/2021, a bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit. The Town Council also give third reading to bylaw 09/2021, a bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit. Council history: on May 20th, 2020, Council gave final reading to bylaw 07/2020, a bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit. On July 8, 2020, Council passed the line of credit policy, FIN 101. On October 6, 2021, Council gave first reading to bylaw 09/2021, a bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit. Strategic plan areas: the community is educated on responsibilities and limitation of council and administration. This line, other impacts, policy, FIN 101. This line of credit is through to ATB Financial and as such is required to be passed by council annually. That's it, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much for that. So we need a motion motion for that, please. Councillor Campbell.
I make a motion that Town Council give first, excuse me, second reading to bylaw 09/2021, a bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that? Councillor Oleko?
Just to confirm that this line of credit's never been used, it's only for emergency use, correct?
Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Oleko, that's correct. And just a little more history is that last year was the first year we did this, and we were worried that people would not be able to pay their property taxes. And if we don't collect all the taxes, we still have to pay the education portion and the housing foundation. So it's just something in emergency, and we were able to pay all our bills last year, and we anticipate the same this year. It's just for emergencies. And again, if we were to go into line of credit, I would bring that to council.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
I just read that the MSI is going to be stabilized for 3 years at 41% how does that affect this?
So Madam Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, fortunately, the MSI operating is remaining the same. So this indebtedness would be used for operating. It's our capital, it's being cut to 41%. So those will be decisions made by council. It means we can do less capital projects, right?
Thank you very much for that.
So for the benefit of the new councillors, MSI Capital, MSI is Municipal Sustainability Initiative from the province. So we get funding from the province, from provincial tax dollars to help us run our town. And MSI operating is our day-to-day, like the power, the gas, the, buying signs, paint, all of those sorts of things. MSI Capital would be for things like sidewalks, new buildings, water mains, those sorts of things. They're major projects that don't have to be sustained every year. And those are funded by the MSI Capital, and it was recently cut. We just found out by 40%. So to 40% of what we were getting. So that's a huge hit for us, big hit. So those are the kind of conversations coming to budget this year as well.
Wow, thank you very much for that. Not sure if I'm happy with that, but thank you for that information. Any other questions or concerns with that? Looking for a vote then on the second reading of the bylaw 09-2021. All in favor, please raise your hand. And it's carried. Now I'm looking for the third reading of bylaw 09-2021. Oh, Councillor Wayne.
The Town Council give third reading to bylaw 09-2021, bylaw to incur indebtedness by the issuance of a line of credit.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Lucko. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of the third reading of bylaw 09-2021, please raise your hands. And it's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we're on to Lamont County Recreational Agreement, amending agreement. Amending agreement. Okay. So go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. The purpose of this report is to provide council with an opportunity to extend the Lamont County and Town of Bruderheim Recreation Agreement until December 31st, 2022. The Town Council approved the Recreation Cost Sharing Amending Agreement between Lamont County and the Town of Bruderheim for the period ending December 31st, 2022. On September 20th, 2017, Lamont County and the Town of Bruderheim entered into a recreational cost sharing agreement for the period of 2017 to December 31st, 2021. Strategic plan areas, cost sharing for recreation for residents within Bruderheim and for Lamont County residents to access recreation in our community. Promotion of recreational opportunities in our community, and a community that is educated on responsibilities and limitation of council administration. Summary, due to the many administrative staffing changes that occurred in the communities in Lamont County and Lamont, the Town of Lamont administration, the chief administrative officers and chief elected officials requested an amending agreement to extend the existing contract until December 31st, 2022, which would allow for negotiation of a new contract and to assist with budget projections. This request was done through a letter forwarded to Lamont County Council on September 9, 2021, signed by the Mayor of Madera at the time, Mike Zarek, on behalf of Andrew Bruderheim, Chipman, and Lamont. Paragraph 5 of the 2017 cost sharing agreement was deleted and replaced with a new paragraph extending the contract to December 31st, 2022. Upon council approval, a copy of the signed amending agreement will be forwarded to Lamont County administration for the records. That's everything.
Thank you very much for that. I need a motion for that, please. Councillor Flaro.
The Town Council approved the recreational cost sharing amending agreement between Lamont County and the Town of Bruderheim for the period ending December 31st, 2022.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Fullerton. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
This cost sharing, is that equal portions between the 5 participants in the program?
So Madam Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, the agreement's attached, but it's based on the amount of recreation facilities we provide to Lamont County residents. So for instance, Shipman doesn't have an arena. So we get a larger cost sharing than Shipman would, because it goes on how many recreation facilities you offer Lamont County residents. So that's how it's based.
And looking back on past history from 2017, it went from 41,000 from the county to $20,000. I believe it was 22. Can you give us an update on that?
So Madam Deputy Mayor Schuler, through Councillor Campbell, actually they rescinded that, council, and they gave us the 40,000.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Thank you for that, Councillor Campbell. Any other questions or concerns with that motion? Hearing none and seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. And it's carried. On to 8.3, waiving the rental fees for the Bruderheim Memorial Community Hall. Community, go for that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Purpose of this report is to provide council with a copy of a letter received from Bruderheim Agriculture Society requesting the fees to rent the Bruderheim Community Hall be waived for a community market. The Town Council approved waiving the Bruderheim Memorial Community Hall rental fees for 1 day per week for the period of November 20th to December 19th, 2021 for a community market to be offered by the Bruderheim Agricultural Society. The town of Bruderheim has hosted a craft sale day at the end of November for several years as part of the yearly Christmas activities. In 2020, during COVID, the Bruderheim Agriculture Society hosted the Christmas market at Walker School for a period of 4 weeks, and local home businesses were selling their products until COVID-19 regulation closed the market down mid-December. These vendors are reaching out to Bruderheim Agriculture Society if there will be a market again offered this year. Strategic plan areas, promotion of home-based businesses in the community, and an opportunity to share our business directory with visitors. Opportunity for residents to join in local activities, and a community is educated on responsibilities, limitation of council and administration. The Bruderheim Agriculture Society would like to host the weekly market at the Bruderheim Memorial Community Center as more space for vendors to spread out their products, and the use of the kitchen allows for serving hot chocolate, coffee, and snacks to those in attendance. The community hall is under COVID-19 restriction exemption program. Members of the Bruderheim Agriculture Society will look after the security and checking for vaccinations to allow access to the market. This is another great opportunity to promote local home business in small communities. Upon council approval, posters will be shared around the community on the website and social media and in local newspapers.
Thank you very much for that. I need a motion for that, please. Councillor Jacob.
I'll make that motion that Town Council approve waiving the Bruderheim Memorial Community Hall rental fees 1 day per week for the period of November 20th, December 19th, 2021 for a community market to be offered by Bruderheim Agricultural Society.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that? Councillor Carter.
Is this just for Bruderheim companies, home-based businesses? Is it just for Bruderheim?
Madam Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Carter, no, this would be open regionally.
I would believe though that it's going to be focused on ours, right? Because they'll be the easiest to get in. But yeah, good point. Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
This the movement from the Walker School to the community center. This is for spacing, right?
Yes. So Deputy Mayor Schuler, through Councillor Campbell, that's correct. To make effect during COVID to increase spacing. As you know, we always did the market, the town, when we had a program director of programming. We don't have the resources. So last year I reached out to the Ag Society to ask if they would take it on, and they graciously did. And I'm very happy that they're continuing it for our community.
So this is just an extension of what the town used to do already.
Yeah.
So where I'm coming from is that we don't set precedent.
So Deputy Mayor Schuler, through Councillor Campbell, if the town runs it, there was no, there was a cost for staffing, and as you know, yeah. So we don't have those staff members anymore. So last year, that's when I reached out to the Ag Society, because we had a lot of requests from vendors to please host it again.
Sounds good. Thanks for that question. Anything else, Councillor George?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Councillor Wayne, did you have something? Did I see your hand go up?
I did, but it was more or less what George asked to. It was an extension of the town and the precedents, but that was answered. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. So motion's on. Any other questions in regards to this? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's carried. 8.4, bylaw 10/2021.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. To provide council with an opportunity to repeal bylaw 746/2004, smoking in designated places bylaw. The town council give first reading to bylaw 10-2021, a bylaw to repeal bylaw 764/2004, smoking in designated places bylaw. On April 7, 2004, Bruderheim Town Council gave third reading to bylaw 746/2004, smoking in designated places bylaw. Strategic plan area, safety, health, and welfare of people in our community. A community is educated on responsibilities and limitation of council and administration. Legal and legislative, there already is a Tobacco, Smoking, and Vaping Reduction Act. The Tobacco Reduction Act amended the Smoke-Free Places Act 2002. The Tobacco Reduction Act came into effect on January 1st, 2008, which is where the province of Alberta bans smoking in public spaces and workplaces, including within 5 meters of doors, windows, and outdoor intakes. The Tobacco, Smoking, and Vaping Reduction Act, Chapter T-3.8, Section 3I, sets regulations on where smoking and vaping is prohibited with relationship to doorways, windows, or intakes, outdoor spaces, and facilities. Bylaw 746/2004, smoking in designated places, will be repealed as provincial legislation sets out the regulations for smoking and vaping distances and requirements that affect all communities in Alberta. Bylaw 746/2004, once repealed, will be moved from the Town of Bruderheim website. That's it. Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much for that. So I need a motion for that bylaw, please. Councillor Carter, please.
I motion that the town council gives first reading to bylaw 10-2021, a bylaw to repeal bylaw 746/2004, smoking in designated places.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Councillor Campbell.
This is a well-written proposal, but we have no posting in our town as to where you can and cannot smoke. We have no means to enforce it. So I find it, if it isn't acted, it's a redundant bylaw.
Thank you very much for that. Go ahead.
Madam Deputy Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, we're repealing the bylaw. It's from 2004 when the province didn't have an act. So we're cleaning up old bylaws. Yeah.
So in fact, you're wanting to abolish it. That's why I say it's a redundant.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Campbell. Anyone, any other questions? So we're, just clarify this for me, please, Patty. So we're repealing the bylaw because the province has put in their own act now that will fall into place as in vaping and smoking. So it's still in place. It just now it's a provincial bylaw, right?
That's correct, Madam Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor. The bylaw is actually null and void with the province having developed their own. So yeah, we're just cleaning up old bylaws. We used to have a no parking your horse on Main Street bylaw that we repealed a few years ago. So we're just going through all the old bylaws and making sure.
But you haven't removed the hitching rail.
We did not.
Yeah, we didn't remove the hitching rail. Okay, thank you for that. That's what I was thinking as I read this over. Okay, any other questions or concerns with this bylaw?
And just for clarification, you need a bylaw to repeal a bylaw, unfortunately, right? Yeah.
Paperwork, I love it.
Yeah.
Any other questions and concerns with this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, you can vote.
We didn't have a motion.
Councillor Campbell made the motion.
No,
Yeah.
Was,
so all, or Councillor Carter made the motion. Yeah. All those in favor again, let's try again. And it's carried. Thank you very much for that. 8.5, Law 11/2021.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This report provides council with an opportunity to repeal bylaw 99-711, the Freedom of Information and Privacy bylaw. The Town Council give first reading to bylaw 11/2021, a bylaw to repeal 99-711, Freedom of Information and Privacy bylaw. On September 15th, 1999, Bruderheim Town Council gave third reading to bylaw 99-711, Freedom of Information and Privacy bylaw. On May 6, 2020, Bruderheim Town Council gave third reading to the bylaw 04/2020, the Chief Administrative Officer bylaw. On January 6, 2016, Council approved the privacy policy Gov 76. Strategic plans areas, a community is continually educated on responsibilities and limitations of council administration. Other impacts, the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act, RSA 2000, Chapter F25, Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, Chapter M26, Section 205 to 207. At the time the bylaw 99-711, the Freedom of Information and Privacy bylaw was approved by council resolution. The Chief Administrative Officer bylaw 04/2020 was not completed. Bylaw 04/2020, Section 3.46 acts reads, act as the head of the municipality with the meaning of the Freedom of Information Protection of Privacy Act, and shall be responsible for the overall management of access to information and protection of privacy functions and responsibilities within the MGA that is listed as one of the Chief Administrative Officer's responsibilities. Bylaw 04/2020 states the Chief Administrative Officer is responsible for overseeing the freedom of information and privacy for our community. Therefore, bylaw 99-711, Freedom of Information and Privacy, is a duplication of this responsibility and therefore should be repealed. Privacy policy Gov 76 further provides clarity around the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act requirements. Once repealed, we will remove bylaw 99-711 from the Town of Bruderheim website. That's it, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much for that. I need a motion for bylaw 11-2021, please. Councillor Lecco, please.
The Town Council give first reading to bylaw 11-2021, bylaw to repeal 99-711, Freedom of Information and Privacy bylaw.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that motion? So we're just basically doing housekeeping. Thank you very much for that. Seeing no questions or concerns with that, all those in favor of the motion? And carried. Thank you very much for that. 8.6, Councillor Electronic Device Policy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Administration would like to provide council with the clarification on the use of electronic devices during their term of office. The Town Council approved the Council Electronic Device Policy, Gov 106, a policy that establishes guidelines for the use of electronic devices for council members during their term of office. On March 5th, 2014, Council approved the Councillor iPad Policy, Gov 068. Strategic plan areas, reducing impacts on the environment by reducing the amount of paper we're using and cost savings in paper supplies. Open and transparent governance, a community that is educated on responsibilities and limitations of council administration. The Town of Bruderheim views technology as being supportive of municipal governance and a resource to improve communications with the public, other councillors, organizations, and the town office while considering the environmental impact of producing paper copies of information. Once the policy approved by council, the Council Electronic Device Policy, Gov 106, Schedule A, will be signed by all council members that have electronic devices provided by the Town of Bruderheim. The policy will be reviewed at each organizational meeting for updates and clarification of the freedom and information privacy while using corporate electronic devices. That's it, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much for that. Need a motion for Gov. 106, please. Councillor Lecco, go ahead.
The Town Council approved the Council Electronic Device Policy, Gov-106, a policy that establishes guidelines for the use of electronic devices for council members during their term in office.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
Is this going to be a policy that's mandatory for all elected officials?
Deputy Mayor Schuler, through Councillor Campbell, it's mandatory that they read the policy and sign it. If you read the policy, it just says how you'll take care of our toys while you're in office.
What if you don't got one?
So it's not mandatory that you have a device. It's mandatory that you read the policy and understand it while using any corporate device. So if you're in the town office, if you're using your Bruderheim.ca sign in over the internet, as you know, you don't have to be on a corporate device. You can access it anywhere in the world. This would apply to you as well.
Thank you very much for that. Any other questions or concerns? Councillor Oleko?
Sorry, no, I'm good, thanks.
Thank you very much for that. Any other questions or concerns? Call for a vote. All those in favor of that? And it's carried. 8.7.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's administration to provide council with an opportunity to appoint an assessor and a financial auditor for the town of Bruderheim. The town council approved the appointment of Metrics Group LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, to provide audit services for the town of Bruderheim for the January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021 audit year. The town council approved the appointment of Tanmar Consulting to provide assessment services for the town of Bruderheim for the period of January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. The town of Bruderheim has contracted Tanmar Consulting to provide assessment services for a period of 5 years commencing in 2020 and ending in 2025. The town of Bruderheim signs an audit engagement letter for audit services. Our current auditors, Metrics Group, LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants. Strategic plan areas, a community that is educating responsibilities and limitation of council and administration. These two firms have provided services to the town of Bruderheim for several years. It was brought to our attention that it is best practice to appoint these two service providers through council resolution each year. The appointment of these positions is noted on the annual year-end audit information. The names of the firms that provide assessment services and annual financial audit services will be shared on the town of Bruderheim website. That's everything, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much for that. I need a motion. I need a motion for that one, please. Councillor Falardo, go ahead.
The town council approved the appointment of Matrix Group LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, to provide the audit services for the town of Bruderheim for January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021 audit year.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that, please? Councillor Oleko? Can't hear you.
Sorry. Is it 2021 or 2022? It's supposed to be on there. Because it's the end of 2021. So I'm just wondering, should it not be 22 or?
So we needed it done for this year and we'll be doing it again in January for 2022.
Oh, so this wasn't done previously is what?
Right. Yeah,
okay.
It's best practice and we didn't do it.
So normally it's done at the beginning of each year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No, I just wanted to understand. Thank you.
And so I'm anticipating that's one of those things that came up on our government audit to make sure that we check off to do as a best practice.
Actually, it was recommended, Deputy Mayor, through our auditor and our assessor. It's just a new best practice.
Sounds good to me. Any other questions or concerns? Call for a vote. All those in favor? And it's carried. So that was a two-part motion. So we need another motion for our Tanmar Consulting. Am I right? I need a motion for that. Go ahead, Councillor Campbell.
I make a motion that the town council approve the appointment of Tanmar Consulting, Inc. to provide assessment services for the town of Bruderheim for the period of January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021 as presented.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's carried. Oh, we're on a roll. Council committee reports. I need a motion for that one. Unless there was any questions, let's do a start with the motion, sorry.
I so move that the council receive the council committee reports as information.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Falardeau. Any questions or concerns with those? Seeing none, all those in favor? And 9.2, mayor report. Looking for a motion for that one. Councillor Carter?
That council receive the mayor report as information.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or concerns with that report? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's carried. 9.3, CAO report. Need a motion for that? Councillor Falardeau?
The council received the chief administrative officer's report as information. The council received this chief administrative officer's report as information.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Falardeau. Any questions or concerns with that one? Councillor Campbell?
Yeah, we all set up, ready to go for the winter activity as far as snow removal. All of our equipment and everything has been serviced, repaired, ready to hit the road.
Deputy Mayor Schuler through Councillor Campbell. Yes, we are ready, but we won't need to be till January. So actually, we just had a meeting with staff today to talk about getting the town decked out for Christmas. So yeah, time's coming. So, but all our equipment's ready. We have a new person hired and is trained and signed off on the equipment. So we're ready as far as ready can be.
And our infrastructures, sewer, water system. Anything that you can report? How did the lagoon discharge go? And what are we like as far as our settling ponds and stuff like that?
Deputy Mayor through Councillor Campbell, I'd have to get back to you on if you could be more specific, maybe send me an email or something and I can get Dennis.
I'll get Dennis to give me a call.
Dennis, well, I'm sure all of council would like to hear it. So yeah. If you want to share the question and then I can reply to all of council.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I have a few. Where was I now? I was trying to find George's question. So you said we hired a new person for Public Works then?
Yeah, Deputy Mayor, we have, as you know, one staff member on sick leave. So the person's temporary, just covering that leave.
Awesome. Where's my question here? Guess I should have wrote it down. My apologies.
That's okay. So the campground has been officially the water shut off, but we're remaining open for the winter just with no water. So we have one trailer there, I'm sure you've seen. And the skate park will be closing soon. As soon as the surface is slippery in the mornings, we'll be shutting that down too. Overnight lows start a week of double digits. We usually close the park as well.
Sounds good. In all of your reports, you always put in Jill's numbers and the numbers that hit our website and all that kind of stuff. Can you do a year summary so we can see a chart, see if we're doing anything better or worse? I'm not sure if you also track how many people are on our Facebook. I think that would be interesting to see if it's going up or down. I do know when nobody could hear us that week, I got lots of comments. So that tells me people weren't watching. They say, well, we didn't hear nothing that you said. And I'm going, oh, okay. So that's why I just kind of brought it up. Any other questions for CAO Patty?
And Deputy Mayor, just as a reminder, we are moving over to a new website right now. So yeah, a little swamped right now to be doing an analysis of that, but we're doing, it's already running in the background, dark. So probably wouldn't be able to get that to you until December for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a big, I'm thinking more for the new year, so we can kind of start tracking and when we're looking at budgeting and how, if we have any extra money, what we might do to throw something at it. Not that we're going to have any extra money, but just a thought. Anyhow, thank you very much for that.
Well, it is probably the largest means of communication that we have right now is our website and our social media accounts. Just talking to people. Very few people read our newsletter. So it's definitely one of and it's something to make sure we keep enhancing and pushing people to our website. That's the big push.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I just had a talk with my accountants and different people, and that's what they're all pushing to, right? Because COVID has locked us in our houses, and that's our means of getting out to the majority of the people. So it depends who you want to listen to. Some read paper, nothing wrong with that, but the younger generation are focusing to this online stuff. So the more we can get out there, the better. So thank you very much for that. Nothing on closed session. Any other questions or concerns with that? No, we didn't approve it. That's what I'm just asking. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, so we need a motion for that. And we got a motion, have we not? Yeah, we just need everybody. What's the word I'm looking for? Approve the motion. Raise your hands. Thank you. Thanks for that, Councillor Fardo. 11.1, correspondence and information items. So all I've got here, October 6th, road trip game came up from the Go East of Edmonton. Did you email that all out to us, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, I read that somewhere. You guys all read that new interesting thing going on? October 19th, 2021, EIPS quarterly update. And again, that was sent out via email, so you can read up on that. I need a motion to accept the listing correspondence from above. Councillor Wayne?
The Town Council accept the listing of correspondence and information items for the period of October 1st, 2021 to October 29, 2021 as information.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions, concerns with that motion? Call for a vote. All those in favor? That is carried. 12.0. Who wants to do that motion? Oh, just a minute.
Before we adjourn our council meeting, I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Judy for stepping in for our Mayor Hawk. I think you did a real good job.
Thank you. And when we're looking at the time, I'll take a coffee from you guys all later. Go ahead, Councillor Wayne.
I make a motion to end the meeting and go home or hit the couch, whatever's closer.
Thank you very much for that. All those in favor? That is carried.